headed down to the port, to the Armis ticket office, and it looks like there's a ferry tonight, but I can't do the tonight ferry, so looks like it'll be next Tuesday, which will be fine. That was kind of my original plan anyway. I was supposed to go down into there. I apologize for cutting me off there. A police motorcycle. Looks like they found somebody they were looking for. Bicycle, close enough. Looks like this is the ticket office. Okay, let me go in and figure out what's going on. All right, so I made it into the port here at the ticket agency. I gotta wait 10 minutes because they're switching people at the desk. But I showed them the picture of the bus, and a couple other guys sent me over to the right desk for Oran. So gotta wait 10 minutes and then I'll hopefully be able to book my ticket. So far it's pretty empty, pretty big place. Not very busy, but probably not a popular time to be here right now anyway. So, success. So I was originally going to go to Oran. Well, I got in line and then she told me to go wait 10 minutes. She was just getting set up or something. So came back, and apparently everybody else was showing up to get on the 10 o'clock ferry to Oran tonight. So I ended up with a huge line behind me. But so like I said, I was going to go to Oran, but that ferry doesn't leave until next Tuesday. So it was a whole week away. And then one of their signboards showed another ferry to Algeria, but to a different city, Gazouet. And then I quickly looked on the phone, and that one leaves Friday night. So it was like, why don't I try that? So I got to the counter, and that one was fine. She started booking me in on that one. Took a little while because they don't quite understand the make of the bus she's asking Mercedes or DAF, and it's like, no, International. And she eventually figured that out, or the system figured it out. Then she got quoted me a price of 900 and something. And then she asked about one way, and I said yes. And she made a phone call, and the quote was down to around 500, or she just said somewhere around 500. When I got the final price, it was 316 euro, or somewhere around 350, 360 bucks. So that's fine. That's cheaper than I was expecting. It's an overnight. It leaves at 10 o'clock at night, gets in at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I just have a seat. Didn't bother buying a room or anything. So it's a nice BMW. So basically, I went in looking for a ferry to Iran, ended up going to Gazuet, and I only need to stay here 3 more days. So my stickers will show up on Thursday, and I leave on Friday night. So it all worked out. So I'm off to get a new welder, but I'm going to stop at the pharmacist on the way, because I did end up getting a prescription. That was a morning task. It dragged into the afternoon. So I had my empty box of the medicine I need. So I started going around to all the different pharmacies that I found, and hang on, let me turn on the helmet and stuff. So I wanted to pick up another box of the medicine. So I tried stopping at every pharmacist I found to see if they would sell me one without a prescription, and they all said they needed a prescription. But I kept trying. And some of them said they didn't have any, some said there wasn't any around, but I still kept trying. And one of the pharmacists sent me to a clinic, to a public clinic, and I went there. They couldn't do it there. They couldn't get me a prescription, but she wrote down the address of something. I wasn't quite sure what it was. And she wrote down the word urgent, and circled it. And so I found the hospital, and then as I was walking towards it, I found a sign that said basically emergency or urgent care. And then I kind of remembered her circling that word on the paper. So she was telling me to make sure I go to that door. So I went to urgent care, stood in line. There was a security guard in there that reminded me of Bull from Night Court, though without the sense of humor. So eventually, I'm trying to follow directions as well here. Eventually got logged into the system with my passport, without the national health care card. Got to see a doctor. Nobody really spoke English, but that didn't seem to bother too much. One of the guys that was in the waiting room came over and suggested I use Google Translate to help get stuff sorted out, and that did help. So long story short, I ended up seeing a doctor, getting a prescription. I went back to one of the pharmacists, but the prescription hadn't been logged into the system yet because it was, written about 20 minutes before that. So that's been 3 hours or so. I figured since I'm running out to get the welder, I might as well stop at the pharmacist. So I think I want to go this way. A little confusing. It's just up here on the left. Perfect. Well, I got my meds. So I now have 3 months worth of that medication, which is good. The other 2 I can pretty much get anywhere. Off to Leroy Merlin again. Just pull through here. Okay, off to do some shopping. Okay, so I bought a mini welder. It's got a flux core wire. It does not have the capability of gas, which is just fine. I don't need that. I think it's going to work okay with the 2,000 watt inverter, because obviously it's European. So I was using the 3,000 watt for my for the other one. It is a nice town to hang out. This parking area up here is fine. The police have been through pretty much every day. I talked to them the other day and they were happy. No problem with me staying here. I've seen some cars that are here for the long term. There's a Mercedes over there with 2 flat tires. And a number of cars that have been in the same parking position since I've been here for, I think, 3 days. And like that big truck we're going to go by, that's been here since I arrived. Okay. Head off, see what this guy's doing. So over on the left, base of the rocks, there's actually a few houses or caves or something, but people are living in those rock dwellings on the left. Seems to be an interesting contrast from the other houses and buildings that you normally see. I haven't seen too many cave dwellers. I haven't done anything with customs as far as Algeria is concerned. I did look online. There's some form for vehicles. There's a limit of cash that's either €1,000 or 10,000 euro. I've seen both numbers. But it sounds like everything can be done at the border, so I'm just going to go with that. I doubt they get many campers coming over, so I'm sure I will get all the attention that is due when I get there. Fiat 128 3P, the hatchback version. I had a 76 128 two-door back in the day. So this was the hatchback version. And it was for sale too. I'm not in the market, sorry. Looks like there was something setting up or breaking down on the left there. Roundabout. I can get. That's interesting. 3.5 ton limit, but it's the ferry, so I guess I ignore that one. Basically just drive till somebody stops me. Seems to work pretty well. Ticket office. Ferry this way. Bunch of motorcycles.